Do y'all have kids?
No, I don't.
I do.
You do? You know what? I didn't even get y'all ages. What's y'all ages?
I'm 25.
25?
25.
25?
26.
26? How many kids you have?
One.
One? Okay. Now, this was a question that I always get mixed answers from women. Do you think your kid should affect your options on the dating market? Has it affected your options on the dating market?
Me,
It
no.
hasn't affected me.
Okay.
Affecting
Now, when you say it hasn't affected you, how so?
Well, I've always been in a relationship.
Do you think that man, it makes a difference for that man knowing that you got a kid?
Well, for me, I haven't had any experiences where I met a man that I was interested in, and then I expressed or exposed to him that I had a child, and then our interaction
Change.
altered.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Any man that I have came across that I was interested in, that I wanted to give time or energy to, once I exposed to them my child, they were like 100% with it. But then again, I haven't had, because I'm typically in a relationship, in a long-term relationship, I haven't had that many experiences to find out if I'm actually affected by it.
I was about to say, because
Let
you
me
only 25,
Yeah,
so how many
nah.
relationships
You
you
get what
have
I'm
been
saying?
in?
I'm
Exactly.
finna ask y'all one thing. Do you feel like y'all value or your stock drop after you have kids? Do you feel like y'all the same women with kids or without kids?
Yep.
Yeah, because the only reason I'm asking this because we had a conversation again behind the scenes about it, and we kind of had a disagreement.
For me, I think becoming a mother made me a better woman. I think if I didn't have a child, I'll be a little more wild. I would be less responsible. Um, I would be less organized. So I think that me becoming a mother made me a lot more. What's the word I'm looking for?
I just want to ask you this though, and not to cut you off. In the eyes of men, do you think your value?
Domestic.
Do you think? No, I said in the eyes of men. Do you think y'all value as when you have kids? Because you said you're a better woman now because you learned these lessons or whatever. Do you think your value is up or down? Do you think at 23 or whatever, whenever before you had your kids, your stock value was higher or lower after you had your kids?
I don't think it matters whether I have a kid or not. I think it's just about the woman that I am.
Do you think men care about that?
I think that for a man, until he actually gets to encounter me and experience me, I think just like at first glance, if you just see me on paper, okay, she's this age, she look like this, oh, but she got a kid, she work here, this what she do, whatever. I think that them seeing that I have a kid, depending on the level that man is at, because I know that there's certain men, they have this mindset of like, because I've had this said to me, but not by somebody
They want
that.
to be a stepdad?
No. I've had this said to me, but not by somebody that like I was interested in or like having like that type of interaction with. But I've had a man tell me, like, you know, a conversation like this, as a high value male who has worked hard to be able to curate a family exactly how I want it, why would I purchase a used car when I can get a brand new one? So basically comparing women with children as used cars, because a high value man that has worked hard to be able to curate his life exactly how he wants it, he's probably going to want all his kids to have his last name and his DNA. He might not want to start a family that they may consider broken because it's not their child. So it's like, okay, what happens when I marry you? You have my last name. All of our kids have my last name. And then there's the one that doesn't.
Now, was that example an issue for you? The way he broke it down with the used car to the new car, was that a problem?
When he said it to me, I felt a sting, obviously, because I'm a woman and a mother with a child. But at the same time, I can't negate that person's desire, because just because I chose to have a child doesn't mean you don't have the right to feel like you'd want to start a family afresh.
Did it make sense to you?
Yeah.
Did you understand?
I understood it.
Okay,
You didn't
because
see
most
anything
women,
personal. Yeah.
well, I say we had a disagreement, she felt like the value damn near went up. Like she used Sierra as an example. No.
That's
Don't
not
start
what I
capping now.
said.
Don't start capping now. She used
brought
Sierra
up
as an
the
example. This is what women do, right? They all love to use Sierra going, well, see, she got a Russell. She got a Westbrook. Russell, what the fuck is his name? Excuse me.
Wilson.
Russell Wilson. Yeah, I don't even know his fucking
I
name.
could use Sarah
Russell
Jakes.
Wilson, right?
I could use Sarah Jakes.
And the reason that's a horrible example is because if you look at all of her past, she always only dealt with the futures. Yet they don't want the Russells until after they got ran through from the futures. And the futures ain't giving them the results that they wanted. They want the futures to be the Russells. And then once the futures don't turn into the Russells, they run to Russell with future kids. And it's like, what self-respecting man would accept that? So what we try to tell women is you having a child is not only going to affect you, that's probably going to be one of the most important decisions you make is who you have your kid with. So start
It's a
being,
hard truth.
Wait, I
to
need-
swallow.
hold on, start being more meticulous and concise with who you have a kid with, because women just think I can have a kid with anybody, doesn't matter. The fact that I'm still getting attention from men means it's not affecting me. Okay, cool. You're getting attention, you're getting dick, but how many of them are really trying to marry you or wife you or make you a wife and keep you? I'm keeping you around for the fun. Yeah. So in a woman's mind, well, I'm getting attention from men, even the men I want. Yeah, but is he keeping you?
Yeah.
The thing, it's not that. I think y'all get the stigma of when we ask you about the value or whatever the case is, if the value goes down or whatever the case it may be, that you're a bad woman. I think that resonates with women like a lot that have kids, and when they hear us talk like that, it resonates as, oh no, you're no longer good. Like, you still can be good in somebody's life, but your value and your stock does change. It takes a lot for a man to deal with a woman with kids, because you don't just come with a kid, you come with a whole man attached to you. Versus a man that has nothing attached to him.
Okay.
So it's like you said, on paper, if we put both of these on paper like a job, and you got X, Y, and Z, everything adds up the same, but then it says, oh, child here, no child here, but you're the same woman. Y'all two the same women. What you think a man gonna choose?
The one without the child.
Okay, well, that's good and all. So here's the thing. Good thing we're not living on paper. So that's the great thing. Another thing is, it goes back to what my beautiful friend here said. It's all about perspective. That's another thing. And then another thing is, you took my example and you really ran the wrong way with it. So I won't even use Sierra no more, because I was just using it as this is somebody that we all know got a good man after a spoiled one. I'll use Sarah Jakes. Y'all know Sarah Jakes? She's a pastor. That's Bishop T.D. Jakes' daughter. She had a kid at 15 years old.
13.
13 years old. 13 years
13 to
old. And you know who her man is? A phenomenal pastor. Torrey Roberts, right? Torrey Roberts, phenomenal pastor. That's a good man of God. Married her. They have their family. And she's now taking the torch from her father, Bishop T.D. Jakes. Once again, that's a big dog out here, okay? So what I'm saying is, don't take my example. Take it as this. I don't care what no man that doesn't want to raise another man's child, per se, has to say he shouldn't even approach me. Because the problem is, women hide their kids. Do not hide your kids. Do not feel like, I don't want to put my baby on social media because people are going to. I'm a mother. I'm upfront about being a mother. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about my struggles. I'm also a woman that takes care of her child, with or without a man. There is no man attached to me. I take care of my son. Now, there's also no drama, because can that man be in his son's life if he wants to? But we good. So there's no man attached to me. So when I
say attached, that mean a man has access to you.
He doesn't have access to me, because the thing is, and I'll just so I can use myself as an example, so I ain't got to keep using everybody else. Even with my child, I don't ever have to talk to his dad. He has a way to contact his father. And the only time we have to talk is so we can meet up on a time to get that bag ready.
That's not realistic.
No, this is what I'm saying.
No, this is what I'm saying.
I know I was finna go.
If you have,
I'm sorry that a lot
if
of
you
people have
co-parent,
baby daddy drama.
you have to communicate. It's
don't.
impossible to not ever not communicate. That's just not even realistic.
So where am I living?
You know what I'm saying? Unless you had a deadbeat who's not around. If he's still around, you're communicating at some point. And what he means, like, by having a man attached to you, this man can affect how his woman feels in his household. Your baby daddy can piss you off, and that could ruin your night with your man. So how can another man make my woman mad? And this is my woman
That's
now.
not a fact.
So no, listen. Say y'all had a trip plan, right? Y'all had a vacation plan. Your child's father said, "Yeah, I'll take him for the 2 weeks." Night before the trip, your baby daddy goes ghost, nowhere to be found. He just fucked up your household in real time, and this is another man controlling another man's household. Why would you ever give somebody that power over your woman when you could just find one that don't have none of that attached to her?
Or you could just find a woman that, whether she has it attached to her or not, it's about the woman. It's about how she moves and how she holds it down. When I go get into a serious relationship, which I'm going to take time to get into because I have a kid.
Can that affect you?
So when I take that time to get in that relationship, my husband don't have to worry about nobody from the past, not even his father.
You
know why?
can't say that.
Because I'm going to get with a man, not a man that decided to change his mind and said, okay, I think she's fine and stuff, so I guess I could be cool with raising her. Nah, a man that said, look, I don't care if you had a kid or not. I'm a man. I want to lead you. I want to lead you in the right direction. So I'm coming in here, and this is how I'm going to do my household. So even when it comes to his dad, that man runs this. And that dad, if you don't want to be a real dad and step in how you're supposed to and make this an easy thing, because I don't care that we had a kid, I'm not stuck with you for 18 years. That's what they want us to think, and that's the drama that they put into our heads. You don't have to have drama for 18 years, and I'm sorry to the people that do.
See, y'all always go to the worst case
scenario.
scenario.
The people that have the drama, just let me finish. I'm sorry to the people that have the drama. If my son is at an age, now I could date even more freely now because I have it set up to where my son can talk to his father whenever he pleases. I've dated someone, and he would be in the living room talking to his dad. That has nothing to do with what we're doing in this household. If I cook dinner and dinner's ready for my man, for his kids, for my son, tell your dad you'll call him later. His dad don't disrespect that. And if it comes down to your example, oh, what if you had a trip and da-da-da-da? Once again, I'm with a man that includes my son. My son is his son, just like his kids if he had any would be my children. If mama couldn't come get her kids and we had a trip plan, it's either include the kids or guess what? Because your kids are my kids. So let me ask you this. Because your kids are my kids or my kids are yours, I don't only depend on this man I used to have a kid with. I depend on my village. So mom or grandma would probably be more so of who I would ask to depend on.
It's not dependent. As a man, y'all probably was planning this trip to go along without kids.
No, fuck the trip. Fuck the trip. let me ask you this. Fuck the trip. So you telling me y'all are co-parenting through a kid, and you don't see nothing wrong with that?
It's not about co-parenting.
No, because you said you don't communicate with your child's father. He don't communicate with you. You guys communicate through the kid. Don't you think that's unfair to the kid to have to relay messages from mom and dad? You don't think that's going to affect the kid in the long run?
He'll literally be on the phone with his dad. And if his dad, this is the thing is we already have organization, right? It's supposed to be organization for peaceful co-parenting. It shouldn't be like, dang.
Thirsty cuz over here. Big goat.
I can't hear myself.
Jesus.
Healthy co-parenting shouldn't and this is, I just hate this for a lot of people. I came from a toxic co-parenting family. So like what I didn't like was that they couldn't communicate, right? They couldn't just simply just tell him about my events at school, or just tell her that you're trying to do this and like to not just put it all out there. But for example, you know that your son has breaks, right? So how do you want to do the breaks? Do you want him Thanksgiving this year? Because if that's the only time you could get him, then let's set that up. We're organized to where I don't got to text you every day and say, hey, you getting him next weekend? We talking too much. We are not that no more. I don't owe you that no more. When I see you, it's like, hey, how you doing?
Okay. Is it safe to say at some point in time, you're going to have to communicate with another man?
But that's what I said earlier. I said this. I said, it's as simple as you're picking him up Friday at what time so I can have his stuff ready. You could cordially talk to somebody about that.
This is the point you're missing.
What is the point?
A man gets her with no kids. He doesn't have to deal with that at all. No matter how minuscule it is, it matters to men. So why go through that at all if I have my option to not?
I just want to say I feel like this is just one of those conversations that boils down to date who you want to
exactly.
date. If you like, for me personally, on the flip side, like, okay, I don't have kids. I personally don't want to date a man with kids. That's just my preference. So don't I'm not knocking any guy that has kids. If I meet a great guy, he just happens to have a kid. Okay, like, you know, I've definitely talked to one or two, you know?
Okay.
Why you don't want to deal with a man with kids?
That's her choice.
It's my choice.
Why you don't let her answer? Why you answering for her? I'm asking her a question. Why you don't want?
Why is it your choice?
Personally, it's similar to the reason you guys presented. Like, I just personally want my family to be my family. Like, I want to be able to have, you know, my kids with my partner, and it's just us. But I also want to be married before I even have kids, and I also want to, like, do these. But realistically, sometimes life doesn't happen that way. And that's fine, you know?
That's the reason we had this conversation, because the dating market is in shambles, especially in our community, because our women, it's like at a 70% rate as far as having kids out of wedlock, right?
A lot of men have kids out
of
wedlock.
No, actually, that's not a fact. It's about 14% of men impregnated damn near 90% of women. So out of that 70%, they're getting pregnant from the same man, basically. So our women are choosing the same men, the same small pool of men. Our women are choosing those men and then saying, men ain't shit, men ain't this, men ain't that. And then they're expecting the men who actually went through life to make something of themselves, to come take care of the kid that you had with the man that ain't shit.
Listen.
And then women aren't seeing a problem with it. That's the issue.
I hear you, but why? My thing is, why just because, like, these are some of the most amazing women I know. Any guy would literally be lucky to have either one of these women, literally. Their value is not like, oh, she's totally like, she doesn't deserve to be happy.
See, that's
and
where you're
have
wrong.
a nice. I'm saying though, but you're saying, oh, she's tarnished, her value goes down. Yes,
I just
okay.
said that does not make you not a good woman.
Okay.
At the end of the day, in the eyes of a man, your value drops.
Okay.
As women get older,
Vice versa.
y'all value drops. Y'all based off of y'all looks, y'all body, the way y'all are. We are visual creatures. That's the way we view women. Okay, she looks good. She could be eye candy for me. She could be this way. Over time, your value will drop. And as a man gets his money and his worth up, his increases, regardless of what you say or not. If you are dealing with somebody with kids or without kids, it does not matter.
Date who you date.
Hold on, listen. I just want to get the point out because a lot of these conversations, when you watch them online, they just seem like just arguments. Okay, the point of having the conversation is so the next generation does not make the same mistakes.
It's not a
Basically,
mistake, though.
no, it's definitely a mistake. It's absolutely a
people that
mistake.
regret it.
Not having a strong nuclear family is a mistake. And it's a reason why our community is at the bottom economically, politically, and a whole lot of other reasons, things that we're at the bottom of life, basically, of every race. If you look at politics and you look at economics and you look at the races that lead that, and then you look at the family structure, most of their families are together. Who they had a kid with, they married. He have a business, the wife be in the business, the kid be in the business. Like all of that is tied in. When you look at us, she have a kid with him, left him. When they had a kid with him, left him. When they had a kid with him, left him. And the kid got to grow up that way. You know what I'm saying? You got 3 kids in the same household and they all got different dads. We don't see a problem with that?
I definitely see a problem with that.
Right. That's crazy. But that's the norm.
Even on a different scale, though, it's like, all right, we telling y'all, like I said, to bring awareness, to bring whatever the case is. We giving y'all perspectives as men, whatever the case is. So the next man y'all deal with, regardless if they got kids or not, why you think it's women out here with 3, 4 baby daddies, with 4, 5 kids? You know what I mean?
He said they keep choosing the same man.
Yeah, but they're not learning from their so-called not mistakes or whatever the case is, and you're doing what you're doing.
But you're going to like an extreme case, like, you know.
This is
No, it's not an extreme. It's at a normal. No, listen to the 70% out of 100, 70% out of wedlock, single mothers. That's extreme.
You know what
on any scale.
Yes, I know how to wedlock is.
No, I don't know. Because she acting like she don't know nothing about what's going on.
I understand what you guys are saying. I'm just saying that, again, going back to my point, you should date who you date. If you don't want to date a woman with a kid, don't date a woman with a kid. There's plenty of men who will accept a woman with a kid and would love her and give her everything she needs because that's what he chooses. You know, there's other things that go into it. Like, I don't see a kid being a mistake. Like, also, what happens in a case where it's like, okay, somebody's dating somebody, they have a kid, they were in love, and the dad dies and passes away, and now she's a single mother. Like, you know,
totally
like it's a lot of other things that go into it. And you don't.
That's not the norm, though. That's not the norm. We want to speak on the norm. See, what women.
It's exceptions to every rule.
But there is no such thing as a norm because everybody's life and journeys are different. So, since we're talking to the future generation, do not lay down and have no kid with no man that's not ready to lock you down and set that foundation up. Yes, you're right. That's all bad. Even me, I had a kid at 17 years old. How old were you when you had your son?
I was 18.
She was 18 years old. We were too young to be having kids. We should have been living our life and focused on whatever we should have been focused on. But some of us don't have the guidance. Some of us didn't have the, parental, really being in our lives or whatever the case is. It's all different. Future generation-wise, no, don't sit there and have a baby with a man that makes it seem good, makes it seem like y'all was going to live with each other, makes it seem like y'all was going to get married, makes it seem like y'all had the same values and morals. But you can't change that. A 16-year-old girl and a 26-year-old girl are two different 26-year-old women are two different people.
This is facts, but women
so
always...
So as far as date who you want to date, baby. If you want to date a man with kids, and I'm okay with a man with kids. I'm okay with it. Even if I didn't have kids, I was okay with it because I'm just like that. Like I was a stepchild, and so I always knew that if I dated a man with kids, whether I had any or not, I would love that baby like it was mine because I didn't get that same treatment. So date who you want to date. Don't go and date a woman knowing you didn't want a woman with a kid just because she was fine or whatever. And same thing with a man. Future generation, let's start doing it right. So let's have these niggas stop leaving the baby mamas. How about that? Because it starts there. We didn't leave ourselves. So let's start that.
They always
Let's
blaming the men.
Oh, we're not blaming the man. I'm blaming his mama
daddy.
and I'm blaming his daddy and I'm blaming the neighborhood.
Why not blame yourself?
But it's
I didn't
saying that culturally, societally, like
We could get deeper
we're
into
not,
it,
We have
but
to go. Yeah, we have to really go
it goes
back
deeper
down.
than just
Exactly,
Because
but
Hold on, let him talk. Let him
these
talk.
men are not
Dan get
being
him.
raised to, be that man that these women need. Let's
Okay.
start there.
Okay, let's start. Hold on. No. Hold on. Let's start there. Let's start there.
Okay.
Those men you talking about, you do realize you guys are the ones raising them. So the men that you guys are complaining about,
I'm
listen,
not-
the men that you guys are complaining about are being raised by single mothers.
And
Why?
they're changing
Why?
the dynamic now.
Right. This is why we're having the conversation.
Yes, but before, in the past, that's the past. It's already done. That can't be changed. It goes all the way back to the way how society was in general with Black people. It goes even deeper. Like, it's not just about, it's more that goes into it. You have to think about okay, why were a lot of men leaving before? When, it was like the big war on drugs and stuff like that. Stuff was getting planted in the neighborhoods. Men are seeing fast money, and
men wasn't just leaving for that.
I'm saying, but they were being taken
justice
because they were
system.
going
It was
into
a
jail.
lot.
They were being
There was a
taken
lot
away.
more
They
to
didn't-
that than even just the fact
jail
that.
system.
Okay,
They both
okay.
had,
If you want to go back, we can go back to welfare, where the man wasn't allowed to be in the house, and the woman had a choice to either take the welfare or keep the man. And what did the women do?
Well, I don't know what they did, but if that nigga ain't providing and you all stuck on
Yeah.
welfare,
I was talking about.
Hold on. I don't even want to go back that far, right? No, not to you. I want to stick right here because, like you say, the future. The future is actually getting worse. This is why I'm so adamant on getting these messages out, because it's not getting better. It's actually getting worse. Not only are we having more women become single mothers, we're having women actually. The roles are starting to reverse. You're starting
becoming men.
Exactly. The roles are starting to reverse a little bit.
Daddy.
But
This is why we trying to get shit back in order. We trying to get the women back to being women and the men back to being men.
Okay,
You
but
know
how
where
can
that
we do that when
starts?
there's a lot of 50-50 men out here? There's a lot of
You know where that starts?
all this stuff.
I have the answer.
Go ahead.
Start, baby.
When it comes to the men being 50-50 and what do women bring to the table?
Because
And
if she
even
cooking and
just-
cleaning,
and
that's
even-
not enough.
And
Like,
even
all
just
right.
the women that are like having these unrealistic expectations. I want the 6-figure, 6-pack. I'm
But
fat
not doing
though.
anything. Exactly.
Like, you know, when it comes to all of that, it always just comes down to your picker, having a proper picker. Like you said, if you don't want to be with a woman that has kids, don't get with no woman that has kids. Don't get with that woman and then shame her for having kids.
Exactly.
Stay away. Pick your choice. Pick the woman. Pick her in the middle. You get what I'm saying?
No, I think y'all kind of
Not
missing the
only
point a little
that-
bit.
Not only
No,
that,
that's the point.
when it comes to these men who are not stepping up to the plate, the reason why men are not stepping up to the plate is because they don't have to. They're not required to. Men are hunters and chasers by nature. If they can catch what they want to catch at this low level, I'm not gonna run and chase and hunt the extra mile and climb up the mountain to get the piece of meat up here when there's plenty of meat down here. I don't have to pay no woman bills. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that to get this. Men are not gonna hunt further than they have to. They're gonna catch the first piece of meat that they find when they run into the jungle, unless that man has a certain standard in and of itself to where he doesn't even want to partake in such low level meat. But if we're not holding them to a standard, if we're giving them everything before requiring anything, that's on us when they don't measure up. A lot of times we want to give them all of us first and then want them to give us everything in return, but you should have required those things before you gave him everything. He's not going to work harder to get what he already has.
Look, this is not to cut you off. This is the point I was trying to make, right? Because I'm seeing that a lot. What they said is date who you want. The point I'm trying to make to women is once you have a kid, you're not going to be able to date who you want at that point. You're going to have to take who you can get. This is the point we're trying to make, right? This is the point we're trying to make. Your options are going to dwindle once you have a kid. So be smarter
shift.
with who you are having a kid with.
Because
Because
shifts though.
They're going to dwindle.
How do you even argue when you say you wouldn't even deal with men with kids?
I
That mean your options are different.
Hold on, look, I'm going to tell you how it's going to dwindle. They're going to go down. So right now, you at 25, you have more options than she would. Because if given the pick, listen, if given the pick, you guys are equal across the board, and the only difference is she has a son and you don't. Any man with common sense is going to pick you. Just the same, if we both were the same, identical across the board, and the only difference was I'm rich, he's not, or he's rich and I'm not, which one you going to naturally pick?
The one I like.
You're going to pick the better option?
The one I like.
Yeah, like, wait.
Because I didn't meet you and say, look at me. Do I meet you and be like,
what's up?
his pockets is
hold on.
bigger. Ooh, okay, let me see.
It
what
don't
your
matter. You like both of us the same
No,
way.
I'm saying everything is
You
the
like
same.
us both the same way.
Identical
only difference
across the
is
board.
He got more money and he don't. Which one you gonna pick? Everything is the same.
The one with money.
Thank you. It's like they don't want to just say
Just
it.
admit it.
I
Yeah.
agree.
But look, don't take this personal. Don't personalize it because you have a kid. We just trying to get you to understand it absolutely
No,
matters.
it's not.
That's
like
all
we're
we
the
trying to
same
get
time.
women to understand.
If
I